Everyone has a choice about how they buy. To understand what level of buying power you may have, it is important to understand what type of buyer you are. To do this, we need to understand the 6 different approaches to buying and the implications each holds. Cutthroat buying. When one party exercises its power over the other purely on their terms. This approach tends to be driven by decisions made at an individual level. Whilst cutthroat buying can deliver short-term wins, it can lead to failure as it's difficult to win or retain support. It's typically a once-only, one-sided approach which can work against us, increasing the risk of jeopardizing supply and creating an unsustainable situation. Leverage buying. If we are in a position of power and buying a generic product in a mass market with many providers competing for our business, then buying hardball and leveraging our power may be the right approach. Effective buying is about understanding our position and the power we might have before we buy. Often, we find ourselves in a position where the supplier holds all the power and our choice or alternatives are limited, or where the power between us and the seller is reasonably balanced. Sellers work hard to maximize this strength in order to gain advantage. Mainstream buying occurs when we want to ensure that we get everything we need and want, and that security of supply is assured. Our aim is to secure the best price with as much additional value as possible whilst making provision to manage any risks. As such, good buying here will typically look beyond a single transaction and instead seek to agree medium-term arrangements. Collaborative buying has become very important to organizations which have looked to establish relationships with strategic suppliers who could provide innovation or take over running core functions of the business. Here, how we buy is more focused on how the right operations and relationships can exist between parties. Altruistic buying is where the buyer is motivated by concerns such as fairness, honesty, equality, trust, altruism, and common interest, which combined drive the buying decisions. This type of buying by individuals is growing. At a company level, altruistic buying underpins the modern sustainable buying or corporate social responsibility movement. Increasingly, having more choice is an important consideration in determining our buying approach. It is important to understand what choices are available to us so that we can determine what type of buyer we will be and therefore where our strengths lie.